Well, hello Abu Dhabi.
Hello, Reading. How are you
It's not quite as fancy a name, but yeah, I'm all good, mate.
doing? Same thing. It's apples and pears. By the way, warning: this podcast may contain swearing, nuts, and gluten. So please consult your doctor if you experience any side effects.
Oh shit, I've been putting everyone at risk until now. I haven't mentioned this may contain nuts or gluten.
Oh yeah, I
Oh
mean,
no.
you always have to put a disclaimer if they experience any headaches, back pain, thrush. See your doctor.
Oh, this is a 4D podcast.
It'll touch you in ways you never even imagined.
Oh my god, it affects you so well. Fucking hell. I do actually. Before this started, Jamie was treating us to a little bit of serendipity with some music there, but hopefully everyone will experience it. But I actually do need ideas on like a jingle.
On a jingle. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I was thinking something along the lines of, because I've got all my recording shit here and then hopefully this camera can see it as well. But so you've got the drum beat coming in. Oh, shit. I didn't record it. I'm still working on this stuff.
Oh,
So yeah,
mate.
that's my current setup. It will be. I spent a lot of time like setting all this up, and it's still temperamental. But if it works, I'm just so excited because I can do pretty much everything right here. I can have my drums, I can have my keyboard, I can have my bass, I can have my guitar, the singing, and I can put it all together. Sorry, let me take my let me come out of the cave. How's that? Less cavey?
Yeah, got you.
Lovely. Yeah, so I'm out of my cave now.
Did you put that on deliberately? The fucking cave effect.
No, that was one from before when I was testing the recording, singing thing.
So yes, you did do it deliberately.
Yeah, it's just my natural speaking voice. This is the effect is taking that away in day-to-day life. You never notice I sound quite resonant.
Okay, you really have been watching too much WWE if that is your normal speaking voice.
Yeah. By the way, for those of you who are judging me for watching wrestling, yes, I started watching pro wrestling in the last month or two. Maybe Corona's driven me insane, but I've twigged. I've got it now. I've got what it is. At first, I was like, it's all fake. It's all this. It's all that. It's like EastEnders, but people are actually hurting each other. It's great. It's it's literally what it is. It's just trash TV. But at the end of the day, people are doing crazy, violent shit, and they just combine those two things together, and it's like, what have I been missing all my life? So yeah, that's what I've kind of been doing apart from music and playing loads of football out here because. Yeah.
So what's So you're not allowed to play music live at the minute. Have they given you a date of when you're allowed to go back?
No. The UAE has a very weird system where they will implement laws immediately, just out of nowhere, and you just have to go, right, okay, that's how it is now. So when it was locked down, I managed to get a flight back to England because I usually fly back for holidays, and they closed the airport 3 days later, just like that, bang.
Wow.
And it was locked for 5 months or something crazy like that.
Wow.
Couldn't get out, couldn't go home. So I was kind of lucky, to be honest. At the time, obviously, stupid me is thinking like, oh, why do I have to cancel my football game in 4 days? Oh, But clearly my family and Katya knows better. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I'm a musician, and Matthew is a statesman, a real statesman.
I'm a man of the people. Vote Matt.
At present, 2024.
Yeah, I think I'd be more like a premier, like one of the not that I'd be like I think a premier suits me better as a title, and it also I wouldn't be like the top dog. I'd be like how they arrange governorship of different states in Australia. I think that would suit me better.
Wow, going for Australia, interesting. Okay.
Well, maybe not Australia, but that sort of thing,
Okay, yeah.
So it's better than a mayor, but you're not quite much of a dick as a prime minister,
Fair.
Yeah.
I want to ask, how are you? How are you getting?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, mate. I'm all good. Fortunately, I have opportunities like this, so I still get to talk to people. I think I struggled at the beginning of this lockdown, so this would be mid-December. I think it's just because I kind of like we had a few months of freedom, and then they had lockdown again, and I kind of treated it like the first lockdown, where all I did in the first 2 weeks of lockdown was sit in my room, turn my phone off, shut the blinds, and play Far Cry 5 for 2 weeks. So I thought, yeah, I could do that again. It's fine. And no, I was not in a good place. It was bad. But so I kind of dragged myself out of that. Actually, made myself leave the house and just talk to people again. So yeah, I'm doing all good.
Good, man. That's decent. Yeah, everyone can get into that lockdown slump at some point where you kind of exhausted your Facebook and you've exhausted your Far Cries and everything like that. You're like, what happens now?
Yeah.
It's good that you've been doing things. I mean, from my perspective, I've been mainly trying to do my music, and it's funny because when I'm working, so I work in bars. So when people say, "Oh, I'm in the music industry," I'm not in the music industry at all. I'm in the hotel industry. I am basically a more expensive napkin. It is, I'm playing Highway to Hell to drunk people. That is my job. I do love it. I do love it. But then you finish doing that and you get back home and you don't want to do music in your spare time as much because you're doing it every day. So you kind of, my solo projects, the stuff that I really, I'm passionate about creating, kind of take a back burner. But I can't complain. I mean, I'm doing something that I really enjoy, and at least, well, whenever they decide to let me start doing that again.
Yeah. I mean, I think for yourself, I don't know how it works for yourself, because I know we were speaking the other day, and money is not a problem. It's just sort of like your insanity for yourself of like getting out and about, and just doing stuff. So are you able to go and play football still at the minute?
Yeah.
That's great. That's really good.
I mean, I actually kind of feel like they targeted the drunk people, which makes sense because where I was standing, people weren't observing the rules. They kept taking masks off in the bar. They keep standing up. They keep doing all this stuff, and you're just thinking, just stop. But drunk people don't listen. So,
yeah,
what are you gonna do? That's the way it is. So.
Well, the universal attribute of drunk people everywhere makes them the reasons people love them.
Yes, exactly. Actually, there was a really crazy story that I heard in Germany. So I went to Munich, and it was a really nice place, and also really clean as well. And
I like Munich.
They told a story about the monks that used to live there, and they would go for a fast where you can't. I think they weren't allowed to eat food, but then they would make a beer which was so heavy that it was like a meal in itself. So you could drink like a few pints of this beer, and you'd be full, like a lunch. So their Lent basically consisted of just kind of getting pissed. That was their part.
I don't think they really understood the qualities of yeast production and glucose you get from beer. If you a sufficient quantity of beer is the same as eating a loaf of bread for calories and for the amount of wheat that's in it.
Jesus.
Same thing. It's like a 6-pack, like an entire loaf of bread. I'm exaggerating for a beer facetious, but I mean it's fun to say that. I don't know how much. I don't know how many beers it is, but it's a lot of beers.
Yeah, we'll calculate it afterwards.
Yeah, I'll post underneath. It's fine.
5 beers, 7 point. It's feet to inches. Pints beer to bread.
Yeah.
People in other countries, they have bread. We have beer. Same thing.
Yeah.
People do it differently.
Have we just come up with a new band name? 7.5 pints to bread to a loaf.
I mean, there it is. Actually, well, I mean, for those of the listeners that don't know, Matt is also a very very qualified musician, very good drummer, and penis as well, which is
a very good penis. You heard him.
You heard it here first, folks. Yeah, you did, and you heard it before. Everyone knows that.
You're completely missing the joke, you dickhead. But all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well. I've known you for a while now.
Few years.
I've got to say, when I first met you, I didn't like you. You didn't even look me in the eye. Just like you're a prick. Doesn't matter that you were like 1 day old. I would have kicked a baby. Disgusted me. But eventually, you started, talking, and
it got worse.
yeah. And I really didn't like it. And yeah, now you're going to yourself. Actually, if you were going to say one thing, let's say something that you learned that you find really important over the course of growing up that has really stuck with you. It could be one of any number of things. What would it be? It could be as simple as like, save a bit of money, or when you're trying to punch someone, aim for the solar plexus. I don't know.
Well, the first one's good advice. The second one's terrible advice. I do that.
You can tell I've been in many fights.
Yeah. Christ almighty. Well, let's do it this way, because as you're here, I think, because for anyone who doesn't know and can't see the resemblance, Jamie and I are cousins. We are blood relatives, so we are actually cousins. Several of my mates to this day still go, yeah, you're just the same person, really. I'm like, fuck you, you assholes. To me, you will always be 16 years old. You will always be my 16-year-old cousin, because of the 4-year difference between us. I will always be 12 in my head, and you will always be 16. And because 12 to 16 is such a huge jump between like prepubescent to nearly finished puberty. It's just like a huge gap.
It only took me another 7 years to finish the job there, to be fair. That was... I
mean, you got to 16 to stop growing, but
I honestly think that is true. My body and my brain just went, good. This is great. Why? Look at all those angsty 18-year-olds. Look at them all in their like hoodies and shit. This is great. Just stay here.
Yeah.
Still Lego every now and again and not feel that bad about it.
Hell yeah. Biological, a bit iffy, but yeah, Lego's fine. I don't know if it's like words of wisdom, but it's more like an observation kind of thing. Is that you are probably one of the most formative people in my sort of like development as a person. Because I mean, if you look at all these fucking books, for God's sake, I mean, you got me into this lot, and I've got an entire bookcase still. Well, not still, since it's grown and fluctuated since. But you developed like how I read things, my sense of humor, where we share an extreme disdain for the most recent Star Wars trilogy.
What Star Wars trilogy?
Oh, exactly. Sorry, it's just a pile of horseshit.
Yeah, that was certainly. Do you know? Oh, by the way, so you've watched The Mandalorian, right? So we are going to come back to that, but I just wanted to. Oh, okay. Well, honestly, I would say watch it, but also I would say, I think because the recent films have been so poor, I genuinely think that The Mandalorian is like a decent show, but because the stuff before it has been so bad, it's like the second coming of Christ. But decent competence in the Star Wars universe is like, just inject this into my veins. I just feel like they got it so wrong with the films, and this kind of just, it steadies the ship. Mm-hmm. It shows cool things. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's not perfect. It is not perfect, but it's decent. And that's all we need, But anyway, yeah. Sorry. So you were saying about formative years. Sorry, you got sidetracked by
that. Hey, it's fine. I know how passionately you dislike the most recent films, mate. I get it. It's okay. They can't hurt you now. It's all done.
Anyway, so.
I don't know words of wisdom, but it's when I was at that age, the three people that shaped me the most are my mum, my dad, and you, I'd say, because you were like my older cousins, you were like my idol growing up. And so like I aspired to most things you did. Obviously, I tried guitar and I was like, well, this is fucking horse shit, so I'm not gonna try this. But
Fair.
but the affinity for books and for films to TV shows, our sense of humor, the love of both of those, we both naturally evolved into that. And whether you could say your humor trickled down to me or whether I just sort of resonated, we were both on the same sort of level, whatever, I don't care. But the same sort of, it shaped me either way. So Stott was a wizard, but I just thought I'd say that, you know.
That's really nice. I didn't really know that was the case. I mean, I know it was enjoyed like hanging out with you all the way growing up, but I didn't sort of. It wasn't in the forefront of my mind that you sort of picked all this stuff up. But then I'm kind of seeing the bookcase and I'm thinking about the, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. And in a way, it's the same with my sister Becky and your sisters.
Yeah,
Louise and Amy. Louise especially.
Yeah, especially, definitely.
Because some people always say like, God, they are the same. They're just the same. It's a clone.
Yeah. That is very interesting. That we're the same thing. It's like me and you and Louise and Becky. It's basically, I mean, it makes sense just because of age and we spend a lot of time with each other. Makes sense.
And taste. You didn't pick a bad person to. I'm trying to think of the right word to
emulate
things from.
Yeah. Well, also I
would call it.
Also, I didn't really have a choice, so
Yeah, that is true. Skip over that.
Yeah.
Are you drinking Guinness, by the way? I couldn't tell.
Yes, this is my Guinness and coffee. It's how I start off every day. It's actually a vanilla flavored coffee. It's fucking delicious.
Interesting.
So good. Are you a coffee man?
I was a coffee man, but I had actually no. I can tell you about this. I had a real issue which dogged me, which was awful for like I think 2 years, where I'm a professional musician. I'm enjoying my singing, my guitar playing, my thing. I'm doing the job, and then I started to lose my voice. I started to lose the range. I couldn't hit the high notes, and it was going down, and it wasn't stopping. It was getting worse, and my voice was getting worse, and I was feeling worse, and I started to think something's wrong, and I started looking on the internet, and I thought it could be vocal nodules. I thought it could be all kinds of things. And bearing in mind, so vocal nodules, for those of you who don't know, there was a massive gap where John Mayer didn't sing or play or go live for 2 years. That was vocal nodules because he had to have surgery to remove the nodules from his throat, and he could not sing for that amount of time. 2 years. So I did some research, and then and then what I didn't realize was when I actually went to a professional that my research was wrong, and I was doing the opposite of what I should have done. And it's like 7 different things in my life which I did regularly all came together to create this problem of my throat drying out. I was eating really spicy food, fried food, chocolate. I was drinking. I was shouting in clubs. I was sleeping in air conditioning. And all of this was drying out my throat. Alcohol dries your throat. Spicy food dries your throat. I was singing loads, dries your throat. Not drinking water dries your throat. And so I did. And then I had a deviated septum as well, which meant that I couldn't breathe properly through my nose. I was breathing through my mouth, which is even worse for my throat. And it took me ages to then get back. So I can't drink coffee anymore. He gave me a list, and it was like, so all you have to do is just not do any of these. And it's like, a list of all the fun things in your life. Oh, it's going out and having fun, drinking, shouting, blah, blah, alcohol, this, that, chocolate, everything. Just take it away. Smiling, get it out of there. None of it. It's a sad list to see, but I have, to a certain extent, I have followed it, not religiously because I still talk shit and teach, but I mean the alcohol consumption has basically gone down to 0.
Nice.
Yeah, for health reasons. And it's bad because people in the bars, they expect you to drink with them. It's like they are offering to buy you a drink, and when you say no, it's like, oh wow, you don't want to have a drink with me? Oh, I see how it is. But it's like I have to explain to them, no, it's not that. And then it's yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, I can imagine. Especially for, I think it's hugely underappreciated how complex and vital singing is and the things used to it, because A, it's not appreciated how much it's an instrument, and B,
Yeah.
it's a muscle.
By the way, just so you know, if you're hearing a ball flying around, that would be our cat Pistachio, who is currently having a great time. Let me see if I can just zoom in here. She is searching for that ball, and she gonna find that ball every way she can. Here we go.
Oh, I see.
So yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god. Pistachio.
I'm not even going to ask who came up with that name, because I'm sure I can work it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Katia likes foods. She likes cats. So what's better than to combine these two things together into one glorious thing? I've cooked my second meal in Abu Dhabi that Katia actually wants to eat.
Was it toast?
No. It's not toast. It was pizza with handmade dough.
Oh.
Got the yeast out and everything, and just, you know, did all that. Granted, it did turn out like a cake, but it was still tasty, and you know, you live and learn. Flour is your friend.
Well, not in huge quantities, because then it's like dynamite. So you know.
Just in Hollywood movies, right?
Well, I'm just basing this on Fight Club. Wait, no, that's not flour. No, that's soap. What am I talking about?
Having a good time.
Yeah, it's welcome to my.
How's
the what?
How's the Guinness? No, sorry, the vanilla coffee.
I think someone has actually put Guinness in my coffee. That would explain a lot, you know.
This is Sambuca shot. Jesus.
Yeah, why is there a Jaeger bomb in here? What's going on?
That's like us playing Battlefront 2, isn't it?
Don't you fucking start. Okay.
Hey, everyone likes a bit of drinking Battlefront now and again.
Okay, so this must have been 5 years ago, I want to say. I'm telling a story.
Sorry, continue. I'm doing nothing.
You're such a prick. So this was 5 years ago. I, as a generous man I am, I hadn't seen Jamie in a while, so I was like, "Hey mate, why don't you come around my house? We'll have some dinner. We'll have a few drinks. We'll play Star Wars Battlefront 2. For people who know how much of a great game it is, it's a fantastic game. It's fantastic. But we started off drinking, had a few beers, then we're like, okay, let's make it a bit of fun. We'll put some drinking game rules into this game. So, you know, like every time you die, every time you fall off a bridge, every time you get blown up, capture a command point, whatever. And
these are the things that the game consists solely of. So
yes, yeah, that's effectively what happens.
What happened to my light? How can I do this without my beautiful light?
That's why I need two, mate. That's why I need two. I got one here and one here. Anyway, so we did that, and we thought, okay, so every time you hit one of these checklists, so we actually wrote them down, you have to take a shot of vodka. Foolish me, I had a little bit of Dutch courage after a couple of beers, and thought, yeah, this will be fine. We'll have a bit of fun. It'll be fairly even. Completely forgetting how fucking good Jamie is at this fucking game. So
I don't know what you're talking about. I just, just played it occasionally.
Shut up. So let's just say that not even half an hour in, he's probably taken 2 shots. I'm on about 17. And it didn't end well. I subsequently went upstairs and was probably violently sick. Not good.
In addition, Laura, who is also on the podcast in a previous episode, check that out, was not best pleased with me having got her baby boy absolutely blathered, and then proceeded to, whenever I came over to visit, say, "You're not going to drink, are you? You're not going drinking?" And then it just, no, I'm not going to be.
She can be a scary lady. Well, Jamie, this wouldn't have been the first time you'd done something dangerous with me without telling her, would it?
Is this when you accidentally fell off the bunk bed?
No, that was funny. I'm thinking about when I actually came to see you in that part of the world.
Ah, oh, yes, yeah. But the bunk bed thing, I was really worried because you literally just fell from the top bunk onto your back and then you started crying, and I was like, oh shit, man. Oh God, this is going to be bad.
Hang on, which time are you talking about? In your house or mine?
My house.
What was this? What happened? I'm thinking of something else.
You fell on your back and then you started crying. You fell from quite a way up, by the way. So lucky you're sturdy. So yeah, you fell, I think, either trying to climb off or trying to climb on. And yeah, was not. I can't remember what the reaction of the parents were, but I don't think it was as bad as what I thought it was going to be. You know, because at the time you think, oh my God, they're going to hang me up by my ankle and flay me. But
yeah,
thankfully that didn't happen. But wait, hang on. I've got to do my. This is the problem with. You might hear another sound now. This is the other toy that I've managed to get for Pistachio. It's a mouse, which whenever you move it, makes a sound.
That's fine. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, well.
Hey, it might be annoying you, mate, but I'm all good. Yeah, I think I have a history. We'll circle back to my main story, but carry on with what you're saying. I have a history of falling off of stuff. So I think I've got a thick head, so I'm pretty good, like just hitting the ground. But the worst one I ever did,
Neck up.
Huh?
Bulky from the neck up.
Literally. As the worst one I ever did. Speaking of which, I had a mate who used to have a neck bigger than his head.
Ooh,
he was a power lifter, so he's a
triangle of a man.
Literally, it was like just came out at his jaw and just touched his shoulders, you know. So anyway, so that's not that bad for me. The worst one for me is, I think it was like I was in my second year of GCSEs. I'd just done like a practice paper or whatever. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go in the garden, just do some pull-ups, and then I'm gonna go to bed. So I was doing some pull-ups, and I was like, you know what, I reckon I can hang from this bar by my feet. So. So you know how you can hang by your knees? You suck it under, you're like, oh, okay, easy. So I thought, yeah, I could do feet, whatever. So I got hands to the handles, put my feet over the bar. So I'm like, cool, yeah, this works. I'm like, oh, it's actually working. So I look up at my feet just to check, and at the exact moment I look up, so I'm like hanging upside down, looking upwards. My feet slip, and I smash the upper bit of my spine into the ground. The only reason I think I'm fine is because I looked up. I'm thinking if I was looking like straight ahead, my head would have hit the ground. And then I don't know what would happen from there.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And that's just one of many stories, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm surprised then that we did this following activity when you came to, with your track record. I'm surprised that, you know, I probably should have done some background research before I invited you. Yeah, so we went skydiving.
Yeah.
Together. And yeah, having successfully fallen from 2 meters, Matt then did it from a few thousand feet. And
14,000.
Is that how high it was? Oh shit, that's
quite
high.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, it was really fun. It was really fun But it's that moment of, I don't know about you, it was that moment when you get to just a big hole in the side of the airplane, and then they're counting down, and then you're like, there's nothing here. there's nothing between me and the ground. There's just nothing there.
Yeah.
And it's that there's something primal in you that goes, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yep.
And
Yep.
by the time you think about it, then you're through the door and you're out into the open sky, and then it's like, ah, well, it's either going to be really fun or I die. Yeah, let's do this. So yeah.
Mate, it was amazing. That was a fucking awesome time. So when I came to see you, this is when Jamie was in Dubai, and this was about 5 years ago again.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so awesome. The guy fucked with my brain because they're like, because you're tandem, they kind of crab walk you to the door. So he's like, okay, so he's screaming in your ear because you can't hear him because there's just so much wind pressure. And he's like, okay, we're gonna jump into 3. So I'm like, okay. So he goes 3, 2, jumps. And I was like, what the fuck are you praying? Clever.
It's good, and there's a video of it as well on I think one of our YouTube, but it's like labeled Wednesday. I think it's just labeled Wednesday, and then it was us sending a video message to respective mums saying, hey mum, just me and him out here, we're just being safe, in Dubai, and then it just cuts to us falling out of an airplane.
Well, I just remember us spending that entire afternoon and evening just laughing, putting that thing together.
That was good fun. That was good. The power of video editing it's strong.
It was so funny, so fucking funny. We'll dig it out and we'll add it to the bottom of this video so people can click on it once they've finished.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you've got into this recently. Have you got into the recent chess craze that's kind of sweeping the world right now?
This because of Queen's Gambit.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's like because of I think the brewing storm of Queen's Gambit and the lockdown meant that suddenly a load of people got playing chess. Like chess was the #1 streamed game on Twitch the other day.
What? Like, who the fuck wants to watch that?
Mate, it's fucking great. Man, they've got the guy from The Office, the American Office, but Will Rainey.
Steve Carell. Oh wait.
No, the guy who's I can't remember his name, but he's Dwight. Dwight from The Office.
Yep.
And they've got a whole bunch of streamers from different places doing playing chess against each other, and it's really fun and it's genuinely enjoyable. And I feel like some of the best chess streamers, aren't always the best chess players. I mean, these guys are amazing, right? They are amazing, and they're rated like top 500 in the world or something. So there's an international master called Gotham Chess. His name is Levy, but he makes chess really enjoyable to watch. So I mean, when he's analyzing people's games, he says, and then Magnus Carlsen takes a hit of his Bond cloud and plays C3 with his king, and it just makes it more exciting for everyone. So yeah, I would recommend it. I mean, Queen's Gambit, apparently really good. I've watched the first episode. It is good from what I saw, but then I didn't keep going because I have enough series to watch and I need to do more music.
Well, I was listening to this one. I haven't seen Queen's Gambit. Just gonna say, I love playing chess. I'm rubbish at it, but I really enjoy playing it. All right. Don't know about watching it though, but playing it, yeah, I'll do that all day.
Well, we might have to have a game next time,
Yeah, oh hell yeah. I can't remember who I was listening to, but he was saying that Queen's Gambit is like one of the highest rated shows in the minute, and he's like, it's funny they had to completely make up the whole thing. They had to make up like this whole premise that there was this woman champion somewhere, and he was like, it's interesting that they had to do that just to make it like more compelling, to make so many people watch it. Because if it was just like a dude who was a super chess champion, no one would give a shit. No one's gonna watch that.
Yeah, but then I think that's also highlighting, it's a woman going into a man's world. And the sad thing is, I looked up because they said some of it might be like a true story thing. It's not, because a woman would never, ever, ever have been allowed to do that.
Yep.
And even, even up to close to modern day, it was still like chess is a man's game. You know, they can't be touching these polished knobs. No, no chance, sir. Men only. And it just
have you seen The Imitation Game?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because that's
Yes, I
really
have.
good. Where you got Keira Knightley playing the what is she? She's not a she's a mathematician, physicist.
Something like that.
It's coding, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, but she's playing that, and it's alluding to what you're saying when she comes down for like the main mission briefing, and the dude at the door's like, "Oh, secretary's that way," and she's like, "The fuck, man." But
Yeah.
again, that was 41, I think.
Hmm. Actually, an interesting thing about the Imitation Game as well. So Alan Turing, it
Mm-hmm.
portrays him as borderline autistic. The
Yep.
interesting thing is that I read up about it afterwards, and it turns out that he actually wasn't like that so much. He's
Mm.
worked with people who are,
Mm.
was actually quite charming
Mm.
and quite good with people. I mean, the chemical castration stuff is still,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
horrible. But he was actually quite, I think, good with people, like, you know, good talker. And he went to America and he came back and he had a lot of world experience. And I think he worked with a mathematician on his way who was like a proper night owl,
Mm.
spectrum,
Mm.
didn't really know how to talk to people about um, his theories. Um, but I mean, the Imitation Game is still really good, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good story.
Yeah. Well, I've got a friend of mine. He he's somewhere along the spectrum, but it's in the fact that you can't. It's just like common sense things are a bit difficult. Like, I mean, I fucking love this man just because his stories are just, everything around him is just hilarious. Like one, for example, we were all sat watching TV. I have told the story already, so enjoy. We were sat watching TV, and he was like, "Oh mate, can I make a ham and cheese toasty?" I went, "Yeah, go for it. Help yourself." He went, "Cool." So he went out, came back 10 minutes later. He was like, "Oh, it's not working. Can you come and check your oven?" I went, "Yeah, fine." I came out. What he'd done is he put the bread in, the ham in, the cheese in, the bread in, shut the oven, and just sat there. They hadn't turned it on.
Ah,
Yeah. And we're like, "You adorable little fuck." But this is equally a man who he can take any painting or drawing or whatever, and he can recreate it by hand perfectly. And he's also got a first class master's degree in mechanical engineering, where he for his dissertation he built an Aston Martin from scratch.
what?
And at his peak, he was the most jacked dude I'd ever met in my life. He could do 15 push-ups with me stood in his back.
Jesus,
Tank, absolute monster. But
blimey,
it's
character.
yeah, but it's so interesting because we call it autism, whatever. I think it's more like he's more specialized. Like, so his creativity, his maths, his physical prowess. I don't know. I think the physical thing is more to do with his mental willpower, I'd say, and like dogged determination.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and just incredible with creating, and then also just building from logical steps. It's just incredible the things you see he's done. You're like, what the fuck? And ridiculous guitarist. You're like, what?
Bastard.
I know.
Oh.
And handsome as fuck.
Proper prick.
Yeah. No, but
that's good. Yeah, fair play to him. Fair play to him. But yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I think we all kind of have our own directions. Actually, I think that's one thing that is kind of different between me and Katia, my girlfriend. So she's very how shall we say, straight to the point about life and things.
fuck yeah, she
And
is.
in 100%. In fact, I already sent Matt a quote, so I keep quotes from her in my phone, and I'm going to furnish you with another one now
Oh, please do.
because it's always good to do. Let me see here. What would you do if I didn't cook for you? She said. I said, "Oh, I'd cook my own food." You said, but how would you survive?
Oh, savage.
Yeah, you know, just zero chill to her. But she is very kind of boom when it comes to things. You know, she's 100% in, just completely in. And to me, I often feel like I kind of dabble in a lot of things. Like I didn't just try and master the piano. I kind of got pretty good, but not like that good. And then I kind of did the guitar, and I got pretty good, but not that good. And then I was just singing, it was pretty good, but not. So I could do all of the singing, bass, guitar, piano, but I'm not like a master at any of them.
Mm.
So if you
Well,
want me in a band, I can slot in pretty much anywhere. Probably not drummer, that. But you know, I can slot exactly. That's where we get the specialist in.
I thought you were going to end it. That's where we get the special one in. There you go.
Special with a TH, Speffel. And yeah, I'm a jack of all trades, master of fuck all. That's
well said, sir.
That's my thing. But I like trying new things and doing different things, but I never really kind of go into one place. I can talk pretty good to people. Wow, what grammar! I can talk well to people.
No, we'll
but
go
not like
previous
amazing.
statements works. Okay, hang on. I'm going to dispute that particular one because I've seen you in your natural habitat, mate, and you are a force of fucking nature. Okay.
Where? What in Dubai?
Yeah, when I came to see you, so when I went to stay with Jamie,
but that's cheating. In my well, okay, sorry, I'll let you go. But then
when I went to see Jamie, I basically just flew out to see him, see what Dubai's like, and just basically watch him perform every night for a week. So I was sat either at the back or with some of his mates or whatever, and just to watch this man on stage. So he had the same pink hair at the time, but it was up, so he looked like Brendan Urie, but with pink hair and brown skin, and he dressed like him as well, actually. But this dude, just like even before the gig even started, you would have gone around the whole fucking bar just saying hi to everyone. You didn't give a shit if they like responded to you or not. And then you got on stage, and even if you weren't the lead singer at the time, which you weren't, you were just running up and down doing your own shit. It's you're a fucking whirlwind when you get on stage. You got a fucking presence, mate.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's funny though because I almost feel like that it can be a bit cheaty when if I'm in my own bar, it's like you know you're there all the time. You're kind of in a comfortable zone. No one's going to complain about the singer or the keyboard player in a band in the bar coming up and saying, "Oh, how are you doing?" Be like, "Oh, who are you?" "Oh, just in the band." And then you know, do you want any songs? And suddenly it's like, "Oh, great!" And now they've got a reason to talk to you. Whereas I think it's harder when you're meeting someone new for the first time and you don't have that initial, okay, here it is, like going up to someone you like on the street or in a bar or in a whatever, or you know, because I mean, in London, you don't people don't give you the time of day. So if you come up to a pretty girl and say, "Oh, hey, I just want to say you're really, really pretty," and they just go, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah, legit.
No, it's different. It's different. So I feel like there are people who I've seen who can charm anyone in almost any situation. Obviously, not all the situations, because you know someone might have had a bad day. You know, someone might kick their baby in the face, and then
You gotta stop doing that.
you know, they're like pretty angry. And but you know, people have that skill, that ability to just suddenly they're your best friend. It's just like, holy shit, how did this happen? And same with the music thing. I feel like I'm pretty good in that situation. I feel like I'm pretty good in entertaining people. But then Roxy, my cousin, you know Roxy, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So Roxy Abbott, she was the one who was doing this before me and who got me into this particular gig. Is 11 out of 10 energy every single night. Unbelievable. She's gonna get you psyched. She's gonna get you fucking pumped. If you know, I don't know, if you're fucking depressed, you're going to come out of that bar with like a new lease of life. It's unbelievable. There was one time where we had, this is great, in Bahrain, 7-piece band, 2 people in the bar, and Roxy. And Roxy's there on behalf of the agency. And we're giving it the full 3 out of 10. Like, you know, the singers are doing the 2-step. They're kind of, you know, like fucking whatever. And I was telling the bar manager who'd come for Dubai, look, just let Roxy come on. Let her do a few songs with us. It'll be fun. And he's like, oh, I don't know, you know, laws and stuff. I don't know if we can let her on stage, blah, 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 blah. And eventually I convinced him because there's no one in the bar. It's 2 people. Okay, fine. The temperature in the room goes from like 10 degrees to 30. And suddenly those 2 people are having the best fucking night of their entire lives. Like, Roxy has got them on their feet. She's go back and forth. She's giving everything. The band is like suddenly raising the game. Like, and she lit a fucking fire under those singers' asses because suddenly they were like, oh, there's levels to this game. You know, she even say herself, she's not necessarily the best singer. Performance-wise, she is the best at getting people. There was one time where the guitarist of a band said, fucking hell, Roxy, it's Tuesday quiz night. Just give it a rest. Yeah, she was dancing on a table, and I think she went over to a person and she like put her arm around him. And turned out he was asleep.
Amazing.
But yeah, so there's always like levels to everything. But I feel like I've got a nice balance where you need me to come in and do your gig in 90% situations, I'll be able to do it pretty well, unless it's a full-on deep jazz gig, and then fuck it, you know.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. You say you can't hold a candle to Roxy, but and I agree. She is another level of whatever plane of existence she lives on. But
energy.
It's all relative in that you're seeing Roxy up here. So you're like, oh shit, I'm all the way down here. But you got to understand that from my perspective, I'm down here. So to me, you appear to me how Roxy appears to you. Yeah, you understand?
You're there.
Oh yeah, I'm not even on this scale. I'm like in the basement somewhere.
You're on your own scale. You're raised up like to your own level, so you don't need to. You're looking at both of us going, fucking singers, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm at the back going, can I go home yet?
In time, dicks.
Yeah. I'm joking. Whenever I'm behind a fucking drum store, I never want to leave. But no, I mean, yeah, to me, I mean, if Roxy isn't there, because you've seen her, she has made you want to be like that. So you've pushed your potential. I don't even think you've reached it, but you've pushed it, and it's fucking awesome, and it's powerful. Because I remember speaking to a bunch of the people. I mean, first of all, going to Dubai was nuts for so many reasons. A, because I got to see what that's how the planet was like, and B, you get to see however many English, American, Canadian, Scottish people have moved out there, and it's weird the fucking people I end up speaking to. Like I was speaking to one dude who was building a new airport. I was like, what the fuck? We just sat having a pint. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But they just tell you what's going on, and they just tell you what they're doing, and you're like, okay. Dude, okay, all right.
The time I really liked was when the guys came in, who they were designing. They were designing the next Burj Khalifa, like the one which is going to be even bigger.
Whoa!
And the way they described it was amazing, because it's like they are really smart guys, but they're also pissed. They're also like they're 7 pints deep, so they've like put this down to the bare bones of. So, Dubai built the biggest penis in the world. And Saudi Arabia, they now want to build a bigger penis. So Dubai said, no, we're going to build the biggest penis. And so they've started building this thing. They didn't even know how they were going to make it stay up when they got to the higher level. Because the top is way by like 3 meters either side or some crazy shit like that. Or no, is it 50? It's a large sway.
Yeah,
it's a big top. So they didn't even know how they were going to make it stay up, and they've already started building the foundations. And this was like 4 years ago.
Well, you know what? This is perfect. I'm very glad you mentioned this. Hang on, because
very nice.
Jamie and I were very fortunate to go up with the current biggest penis, and as you can see there, it is neither of us. But that is the big one, and the we went up with two of Jamie's bandmates at the time, and yeah, this is their faces as they came back down.
Like, come in a bit closer. Come in a little bit closer. There he is. There, look at him. That is the one. Yeah. By the way, that's Michelle and Khan, who are both amazing.
It's fucking face.
Khan's expression. Do you know what? Khan is great. You should get Khan on this show. I guarantee you, he will provide us like so much entertainment. He is amazing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he said some things which I cannot repeat on stream, but I can say one of the nicest, most simple philosophies that I've ever heard when talking about relationships. And we were talking about, people seem to have problems going in, those problems are still going to be there. That person's not going to solve it for you. And he said, yeah, another person could be the cherry on top, but you the cake.
It's simple, but I love it.
You the cake. I just think you the cake is just that's good shit right there.
And what was it when I came to see you? What had he recently just filled the entire flat with?
Was it vodka?
No, it was these things in little pots.
Oh, plants. Yeah. Sorry, you're right. Because there's a great photo of Khan splayed out over 12 bottles of Absolute vodka.
Oh.
Which actually posed its own problem later on. Anyway, but yeah, he had loads and loads of plants in his place, his little jungle. And like he had to carry this all on the tram, so he was just there with like 12 pot plants on the tram.
They weren't small ones, are they? All in fucking terracotta pots.
Yeah, he bought them off some woman who was leaving the country, who was very happy that someone had taken them. So yeah, just had a bunch of plants.
It's fucking amazing. Fucking jungle in his room is so funny.
The dude was class. I mean, bearing in mind, we actually lived in the same room for however long it was, like 3-4 months. And the thing separating us was a curtain. It was a curtain. So yeah, it was tricky. Tricky, shall we say. But I mean, yeah, such a boss. Such a dude. Fucking love the guy. And yeah, he's back in the UK now. And actually, he's got this thing, Scatty Badgers, on Instagram. Jesus,
what?
If you want your mind twisted, go look at Scatty Badgers. I was going to say you won't be disappointed. You might be disgusted. But yeah, you won't be disappointed.
If it's Scatty Badgers, is it just pictures of badger shit?
No, it's him and a friend making. I don't want to call it music because I feel like it's so much less, and yet so much more.
Oh my god! Oh, okay. Scatty Badgers, you heard it here, folks. Just a cheeky little plug.
I mean that does come with a guidance warning. Fuck me. Poor. Take your places. Anyway, yeah. So, but he's a great guy, and yeah, you come to Dubai was an amazing time. That was really fun. Ah, goddamn, it's good times.
Yeah, even just something. Sorry, I was just saying, even just something really simple. Like one thing we did, I think we spent the day. I think it was after the Burj. Actually, we spent the day there. So we got the tram there, did the whole biggest Dubai is like one of the biggest shopping malls in the world. So we walked around that, walked around the Burj, had something to eat. And what was awesome for me was just the walk back as it changed from like evening to night, and you just see everything just light up. You're just like, holy shit, because the Dubai architecture blew my mind. It's just nuts. Like you've got this fucking. You would point out all these different nightclubs. There was one which was like something seven, the one that's like a big cylinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was awesome. And then there was the
in one, 7
yeah,
bars in one. It
yeah,
was different.
yeah, that's it. And then what's the building that goes like this?
Oh yeah. I can't actually remember the name of it, but yeah, it's just that twisting tower, isn't it?
Yeah,
Which
so
like straight. It's like a normal tower, but someone has literally just gone. Whoop, like
yeah,
that.
the whole thing just it's so the front starts here and it ends up like at the back, and you're like, what the because it just twists all the way up. But it's, yeah, just the whole architecture was fucking stunning. It was so awesome, and just yeah, it's just at night it was just really chill. I was like, this is weird. This is really weird. It didn't feel like reality. It felt like I stepped into a film set, but it's just how they live, and you're like, what is? It's really cool, really surreal.
Yeah. I will say that you saw the best parts
Mm,
of Dubai, in my opinion. I think
mm,
that's like the sort of upmarket part of Dubai where it's
yeah.
like okay, everyone's relatively well to do. Um,
Oh,
but
trust me, mate. I did not see the good parts on the way home. I don't think I ever told you the journey home.
no, did you not?
Oh, mate. Okay, so it was that you had a gig, so then you'd arranged for a taxi to take me. So I got in the taxi and I'm going. This dude doesn't speak a word of English, so I'm driving down the main motorway to get to the airport.
Yep. Yeah,
He
yeah.
then turns off, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And because he doesn't speak English, he doesn't say a fucking word to me. So he turns off, and he's driving down this place. Everything becomes like there's like it's like a desert, like on the left. There's like buildings falling apart on the right. He goes for a fucking checkpoint, and I'm like, what is going on? And then he pulls into this little. It looks like something out of fucking American Sniper. He pulls in to like between these two. It's like this courtyard between these two like buildings where people obviously live. There's some kids kicking a ball down the road, and then he just gets out and walks into the building. And so I'm sat in the back of this fucking like mini cab with my suitcase in the back. I don't know where I am. I'm like, this looks like fucking Afghanistan right now. And I'm like, this guy didn't say a word to me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm like, okay, this is okay, cool. This is where it ends. I'm like, cool. What have we got in the car? What have we got? All right, fine. Then he comes back in with this Russian dude who's like, hey, and he's just another guy to pick up to take the airport. He did, but because he didn't tell me, I didn't know what was going on. So then he drove to the airport. I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, I hope he didn't make you pay full price for that. Jesus.
I don't think I paid. I think you paid for it.
Oh, motherfucker.
I was just like, because he didn't tell me anything, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Did I get in the wrong vehicle? I'm like, what the fuck? I just sat there, like, okay, cool. All right.
That is pretty terrifying. I had no idea, man. You didn't tell me about this.
Well, because I made it home safe, so I was like, oh, whatever. But I was just like, because now it's just a funny story. But at the time, I was like, all right, cool. This is how it ends. All right, fine.
Fuck it hell.
Mate,
Oh.
that was some sketchy shit. But it felt like I was there for an hour. And it's literally like there's no one there except these fucking kids in the corner kicking a football around. I was just like, but because it's as to your point, because it was so completely the opposite of an environment to where I spent my time with you, I was like, oh, this does not feel safe, you know?
Yeah. And there's a lot. There's many parts of Abu Dhabi and Dubai which are more like that, which aren't the beautiful veneer of the UAE.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's a dictatorship.
Yeah.
It is. It's people come from all over the country. It's only 10% local. There's only 10% UAE citizens who are actually originally from UAE. The rest
Wow.
is all immigrants.
Damn.
So, country like if someone foreign came in, they'd assume that the main people, like the people who live here, are like either from the Philippines or from India or Pakistan, because they'd be like, well, that's just who I see everywhere.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a crazy place. Although I will say, I think it's one of the safest places. Like at night, I'm not scared of Katia walking home at night,
Hmm.
like 2 a.m. in the morning, 3
Yeah,
a.m. in the morning.
I get that. Yeah.
It doesn't worry me. It doesn't worry her. It doesn't worry other people.
Hmm.
Maybe in other places like Musafa, where you're talking outside the city,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you're like, but I mean, imagine London, like 3 a.m. Your girlfriend walking home at night.
Nope.
No, 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 no.
Not even Reading's pretty sketchy. You're like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Exactly. You know, here it's like fine. Just, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, I remember.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say they do. If there's homeless people, or if there's if you get hepatitis or other stuff, oh bye, deported back to your country. You know, if you can't afford to live here, you go back to your country. If you get hepatitis, tough luck, get out. You're your own country's problem now.
Interesting.
So it's literally like those kind of film utopias where it's like under the surface, it's all kind of like fuck.
Yeah.
But I guess I a lot of people come here for better lives, and a lot of them get it. So it's a balance.
Well, it's like some of your mates, some of the friends you'd made while we were out there. I think one of them, like I think it was her mum who's got a place there, so they just come out to stay with her now and again. I was like, that was really cool because we just spent the week just hanging out with them, a few of the other boys as well. It was cool. But I get what you mean, because I think it was like Michelle, who was your singer at the time, she went out to get like chips like after your gig at like 1 a.m. or whatever, and she was gone for like half an hour. She came back, she was like, all right, and I was like, oh, fair enough. but to your point, the fact that she was just walking around, like, it's fine.
Yeah, that is a really good thing about the UAE. I was going to say, I wanted to ask you another question. So you've already asked me, like, your sort of philosophy and everything. What would you say is the biggest change that you've had sort of since you sort of started to reach adulthood, like 18, 19, 20 to now? What would you say is the like one of the biggest changes that has happened to you? As in, you're obviously not your body, you got stronger, but personality wise.
I think my personality's been pretty much the same until about till about a year ago, actually, because I suddenly hit a point where I think I understood that sometimes less is more, in the fact that I don't always have to be talking, or I don't always have to be doing something, or interacting with people is the wrong word. I don't always have to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
Which is ironic, considering this is a fucking podcast of mine. Actually, saying that though, that's why I can argue against that, because it's why I have guests. If I wanted to be center of attention, I just talk at the camera, which some people do, and it works. But I mean, like, for example, I say a year ago, because I look, even then, probably shorter than that. Because if I look back at the first fucking episode I did of this, I am such an interrupting twat. It makes me so angry. God.
But it's your first time doing anything, right? You're gonna suck the first time you do it, and then you push on, you get better. And I think now from what I've seen, you're giving people space to speak, but also you're still interacting with them. You're still giving them that sort of nudging the conversation along when it kind of starts to dry. You know when to step in and be like, "It's my time, bitch."
Yeah, well, that's what's got to be. It's just, I mean, some people naturally are. It's interesting. Some people are a little bit awkward because they're like, "Oh, it's we literally are just talking." I mean, there's no fucking audience yet because it's not live.
Yeah, would you say you're natural with people, or that you developed people skills? Your people skills.
Good question.
Did you constantly work on it, or just
say again?
Did you consciously work on it? Maybe.
I did. I don't know if I do now. It's a very good question. And I hate when people say that because it means that it's a filler sentence. But it means when I was growing up, whenever I go to like get my hair cut or go to the shop, I think specifically haircut actually, my dad would always take me. And I noticed that he would always make an effort wherever the hell we went to introduce himself and find out the person's name.
Nice.
And I remember watching that, and I spoke to him about it, probably a couple of years after I first noticed it. I was like, you're really, you're really like friendly with people. Where you find it looks really easy how you get on with people. And he was like, it's not even remotely easy for me. So he was like, I have to force myself to do it because otherwise, he's like, I'm naturally quite quiet, so I wouldn't say anything. I was like, oh shit, he forces himself to introduce himself and actually talk to people. And I think that stuck with me, and I've kind of adopted that since. And I don't know if it's conscious anymore. It definitely was to begin with, but I think now because I've got into the habit of doing it, I just talk to people.
That's really interesting. I never knew that about Dave because he always seems. But yeah, that is. Oh wow.
But exactly that point, I was exactly the same. I thought, oh, it's just who he is. He's like, nope, I have to make myself do it. But I think it's helped because all the like you, all the careers I've been in, it's all customer facing. So it's all you get the business from talking. So you have to be fucking good at talking to people.
Yes. Oh man, that's something that hit home for me massively when a guy that I knew was a friend of mine that I sort of met in the bar, and he drank with me, and he was drunk, and we just finished playing, and he put his arm around me, and he went, "Jamie, you absolutely nailed that Hotel California solo, even though I hadn't played Hotel California the entire night." He didn't care. Him and his friends, they didn't care. I think you've heard that story before, but he wanted me. He was happy that I was there, and he wanted to come over and chat to me, and that was more important. That's like 50% of my job is to be nice to people. I could be the best musician in the world, and if I'm a prick about it on stage, people aren't going to come back and watch me and drink because they're going to be like, "This guy's an asshole."
And we've both met plenty of those. Yep.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Yep.
People got to learn. I'm really interested in that, and you sort of picking that up from Dave, because from my perspective, I had to really brutally force myself to get better at talking to people. I was not natural. If I knew you, family and stuff, I could talk, but if I was in a conversation which I was nervous or bored or whatever, then I just kind of walk away. I'd just be like, I can't handle this. And so I learned so many things of, the posture, the way you talk, not to interrupt yourself by saying the ums and ahs. I still do that, but less than I did before. Being clear when you're speaking, looking people in the eye. I didn't look people in the eye at all. And so I read a book which said, just try and remember the color of their eyes. Look at their eyes and look at the color of their eyes so you can work it out. And then you have to look long enough to actually say, okay, right, blue eyes. Doesn't matter, but it's making you have that habit of looking. And I think it was really important. Yeah, because I was, what's the word? Not the easiest to talk to originally.
So it's very interesting you're saying that, because, and for anyone who's met you, they'll know that this guy doesn't shut the fuck up.
I never learned how to not try and be the center of attention. So
yeah,
you're big on that point,
mate. It's how you make your money.
My OnlyFans is coming up soon.
I'll be so happy if you do that. People will subscribe. It's just you play the ukulele for 5 minutes.
Well, I thought it'd be really funny to have like an OnlyFans and it just be me sitting here just going, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, just drinking like, I don't know, some water and just sipping it. You know, just looking at the camera.
Just you doing this. This is you doing your Mark Zuckerberg impression.
Yeah. have you seen? What's the guy from Parks and Rec's name?
Chris Pratt.
No, the manly man, because he has a Christmas video which you can put on YouTube, which is just him sat next to a fire drinking whiskey for an hour. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't do anything. He just sits there, drinks a whiskey, and just looks at the camera.
Fucking excellent.
It's so good.
That is fantastic. Very good. I like that.
There's something quite relaxing about it, I will say.
Going back to you talking about finding hard to talk to people. See, I think that's a natural part of just growing up, because I can relate exactly the same thing. I mean, like, there's a weird memory stuck in my mind, particularly when you're thinking about maintaining eye contact. Because when we went to my dad's best mate's wedding, I remember I remember walking up the stairs, getting right to the top, and he was there, like in his suit and whatever. And I remember just like Dad saying, you know, I'll give him a hug and say, oh, you know, congratulations, mate, it's a great day. I remember shaking his hand and saying the same thing. And I couldn't look him in the eye. I don't know why this memory's in my head, but I couldn't look him in the face. I was looking like over his left shoulder because I couldn't. It's so intimidating to look him in the eye. And I think I was with my girlfriend at the time, so I must have been about 16. So not that long ago, but I was just there like, why can't I do it? But since then, I've been told by some people I need to stop. It's just very intense, because that's all I do when I speak to people. I just look them dead in the fucking face, like everyone I'm talking to. And some people are like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, I think I read somewhere. Oh God, wait, hang on. Oh, Katia has left a package for me. 1 sec.
A day in the life of Jamie Abbott, everyone. Here we go. Right, let's see.
Oh, hello. Hello. Sorry, man. Yo, hello. No.
What's he getting, everyone? What package is he going to get?
Becky, it is.
Oh. Having delivery? Having something dropped off? Get something ordered? Library card expired? I wonder how it works with libraries if you can take things out at the minute. Because I've seen libraries. I was walking past one in town the other day, and they were still giving out books. Not as in like giving them out, but you can still go in and get a book.
Yeah.
Maybe James.
I'm in a podcast with Matt. Can you text me this? Apologies, sorry about that. He was going to start going on, and I was like, okay, no, podcast time.
It's amazing, mate. You've given people an insight into the day in life of Jamie William Abbott.
There you go. Magical stuff.
I know.
Katia asking me what I want from the supermarket. Bread. I would like some bread.
You're a man of simple tastes.
I am a man of simple taste. So, no, sorry, your story is very interesting. I'm not being able to look people in the eye. I heard that you had to. It's like when you're talking to someone, you're looking in their eyes like 80% of the time or 90% of the time, and when you're when you're talking, it's about 60%. When you're listening, it's about 90%. Or something weird like that. Honestly,
sorry. Say it again. Go on.
So when you're talking to someone, you're looking in their eyes about 60% of the time. When you're listening to them, it's about 90%.
Okay. Yep.
I would disagree with like it being a natural thing. I think there are people who go through life without ever doing this, without ever pushing themselves or addressing it. because for me personally, the big thing was I was 15 years old, never had a girlfriend, anything like that. Level 15 virgin. And I just thought, okay, it's fine. What happens is you get older and then you get a girlfriend. So I got to 16 and I was like, 17, get a little bit worried. And then it got to 18. I was like, holy shit, nothing has happened. And nothing is going to happen unless I change something. So I started looking at, looking at all of the things of talking to people, talking to girls, and trying to be more interesting. Not changing my personality, because that's not good. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, I love makeup and I'm a bodybuilder now. No, you can still enjoy the things you like, but it's how to bring across your personality, the best of yourself. So I had to do all of that learning, and it paid off because it's helped me with my relationships, with my jobs, with my family. And people don't do that. I have friends where I think, they're so capable. Why aren't they passing this interview? Why are they single for this amount of time? Why are they whatever? I just think, that's something they haven't addressed. Either they didn't want to address it, or maybe they're shy to address it, or they don't realize it. But it's such a huge part, and it'll affect every corner of your life. If people are comfortable around you, people like you, it's what makes the world kind of go round. So at least the business world, not the actual world.
Who knows if the planet's gravitational rotation is to do with how many likes people have? No. No, you're right.
It's flat anyway. There's no rotation.
Forgive me. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Turtles all the way down, Jamie. Turtles all the way down. Is that Terry Pratchett?
Yes.
Yeah.
The turtles with the elephant on top, and
then the disc on top of that. Yeah. I never actually read those.
4 smaller turtles, 4 smaller elephants, and then the disc.
Yeah. I never actually read those books.
They're good. They're really good. Katia tried to read them, but they're very fiddly with the language. So she struggled a bit to get them working right.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, maybe a bit flowery. Some fucking authors just write complex, just it's like a self-flagellation kind of shit. You're like, all right, mate, calm down. We know you know big words.
Yeah, big words. I know English. Shut up.
Yeah, I know how to England. What?
Okay. I'm sloughing so hard right now.
Technically, it's sloughing, but I'll let you off.
Yeah. No, you're right. It is sloughing. That sounds more like you're doing something disgusting. I'm sloughing right now.
Well, I think, yeah, but you do a bit of ASMR, anything's weird. I think sloth is... I think it's just a verb as well. Hang on, verb doing. I think it's just an adjective.
Get some breading in this bitch. Okay, cool.
Dude, I might actually have to get you just to do a jingle for me. That's fucking hilarious. Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah, you can give me some rough direction, and I'll just I'll just bang one out. I've got the setup.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, mate. If you just do like 5 minutes from each episode, you can work out roughly what sort of thing it could be. Just at any point, right? Each one, just go, okay, listen to that, and then go, okay, I got it. But I think sloth literally, I think it just means to like fall off. I think is what it means.
Yeah. It was sloth,
like snow. Yeah, like snow was sloughing off the roof. I think is the correct way to use it.
It's not a disgusting drop.
Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't need to be so descriptive, but sure.
Yeah. Well, everything has, when you actually look at what things are named as, you're just like, well, this is weird. I mean, like, my hometown is named after what you do with books, you know. Yours is named after something disgusting falling.
If you were going to have a book or a movie named after you, what would it be called?
Oh my god.
If it was a movie, who would be the lead actor in it?
Okay, that's a better question. To play me?
Yeah.
I might have to say Mark Ruffalo, you know.
Mark Ruffalo. I can see it. That's
but
good.
but Mark Ruffalo from Collateral, not Mark Ruffalo from Avengers, because in Collateral he's got like a beard and like slick back hair, and he's a detective. But it's not like because his hair it's not all crazy. It's just like really like close to his scalp. He looks really cool. He looks good. What about you?
Well, someone actually gave me this comparison, and I was like, sure, I'll fucking take that any day.
Go on.
It was Poe Dameron from Force Awakens. What's his name?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. I was like, hell fucking yeah, Oscar Isaac.
I can see that. Yeah.
That's punching way above my weight. But yeah.
Yep. I can see that.
Yeah, I'm locking that in right now, because the only other guy that someone ever said I looked like was the guy from Numbers. I don't know if you remember that TV show, but yeah, it's just like a brown dude with a big nose.
You know, typecasting. Why not? Easy.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I just thought of a potential book name for my. It could be like no, yours could be Getting Redding in This Bitch. But
that's terrible.
I was thinking about just sloughing.
And it's good. It has to be like snow falling off a roof.
Me falling off a roof. It's like the main character from Quap. What a story arc that is, Jesus.
Oh my god! Some things you just question, like how the hell were they made? Like what value does this contribute to society?
Hey, don't knock Quap, man. Come on, it's a classic game. Literally minutes of fun.
Okay, good. That's a good question. Besides that, what is the worst video game you've ever played?
You know, that's a tricky one. I know. I can tell you the one that has affected me and actually kind of pissed me off the most. And it's not necessarily a bad game. In fact, maybe it's FIFA. I think I've already spoken about this to you, but I had a massive addiction to FIFA, and I would play FIFA
I know.
like 7 hours in a row, 8 hours in a row, easy, just crush it. And I think that it got to a point where I knew I couldn't have it in the house. I couldn't own it. I had to throw away the CD. Just, it's done. And then my friend said, "Oh, I was thinking about getting FIFA in Abu Dhabi," and I was like, "You know what? What a great idea! I can't play it because he has the console, but there's no way I can get addicted to it." We then played Ultimate Team together, and we started building a team online, and that's literally fucking gambling simulator 05. It's really bad, and people pay money for it, and they get kids to pay for it, packs and stuff, where it's like baseball cards, and you might get a reward. And it's just gambling for kids, man. It's really, really bad. Kids will spend like £5,000 on their dad's credit card trying to get a player. And a footballer actually said their child had done it, spent £5,000, and the best player they got was like Peter Schmeichel or something, like a goalkeeper. And Robbie Savage was saying, for £5,000, I want the actual Peter Schmeichel to turn up at my door.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's just a money sucking machine. And I ended up spending time just on the web app, on the phone, building a team, trading, And that would go on for like 3 hours in a day, 4 hours in a day. Fucking horrendous. I have an addictive personality, and that proved it. It was really, really bad. Really bad.
Sounds
So
it.
maybe FIFA, because it's not actually the fun game it's supposed to be. It's an addictive motherfucker that just takes control. Just takes. Yeah. What about you? What's the worst game you've ever played?
It was well, it was purely just because I just couldn't stand it, and it was Quake. Yeah, I was just, yeah, but like one of the first ever. So you can't. I'm trying to remember this right, but there's no. It's 2D.
Yep.
So you're like, how does this even work? And you've got like a fucking, what was it? It was like a GameCube control, but you can only use one half of it because you can't like turn around or something. You're like, what the fuck is what? Like you can, as it, you can't move left and right. You can move forward and back, or when you on the same thumbstick, if you go right or left, you turn right or left. Whereas like now you've also got interactive, so you can move sideways while looking up. Whereas that you can only do one thing at a time, and you're just like, what the fuck? And everything was linear. There was no up, there was no down. It was just straight ahead, forward, back, and turn. That was it. It's like driving a tank, but you're just like, what? It's the same mechanics. I was like, this has my brain, but for a different thing. So what you're saying, that thing sounds a lot like Warzone, in the fact that they give you the game for free, and all the add-ons cost money.
Problem is, FIFA, you pay full price for the game as well.
Oh man,
they fucking have people by the balls, but it's like 10 to 18-year-olds.
Yeah,
they're just gonna play it, and they're gonna see the packs, and they're gonna want the best players, and so they're gonna play a rigged system that won't give them the best players. That will keep them just fucking addicted, like just there.
There was something I was listening to, and they were basically saying that video games are, for the most part, they're really good as a sort of a cathartic tool, as a distraction, as a way to blow off steam or release tension or whatever. But you've got to choose a specific kind of game. The way for it to be conducive to your mental health and just your well-being is it needs to have a definitive end point. Right. So if you had Crash Bandicoot, definitive endpoint, Dishonored, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, open world games are a little bit of a grey area because you can do pretty much anything. Yeah. Yes, so open world ones that are probably, depending on which one it is, are probably, they're probably classed the same as Warzone. Warzone, you never end. You just keep. It's like paying it's like playing not Space Invaders. What's one of the most original games ever, which is the two things like that?
Pong.
Yeah, it's like that. You're never going to end. It's just to see what level you can get up to. It's high score, Whereas, if you take Dishonored, for example, Dishonored's probably the best mix of everything because you've got an A point and a B point, but instead of just like Modern Warfare campaign, which is linear, Dishonored, you've got like 7 ways to get to the end point. Which it's amazing. It's a brilliant concept. It's a fucking great game. Anyone who hasn't played it, fucking play it. I'm talking to you, cousin Josh, you bitch. But like you take
bitch,
yeah, exactly. But if you take Warzone, you take Oblivion, Fallout, Skyrim, maybe Assassin's Creed, they are less good. Warzone is the epitome of the worst because it's the same thing as Pong. Because it's just endless repetitions of the same thing, and you just level up. That's what you get from it. There's no end point. There's no stop point. And I heard that, my mind was blown. I was like, fucking hell.
That's interesting. Like,
makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, that's I think why FIFA was so bad for me, because even in career mode, like, it just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah. Yeah, whereas if you look at like Battlefront 1, the original, where you do the campaign, Galactic Conquest even, that's awesome because you're like, okay, 8 planets, I've got to conquer them all one by one. Let's go, let's do this. And you've done it, you win. Yes, start again. Or do another game. Brilliant. There's a definitive goal that you're trying to get to. Because it's good for the brain, because it's like, it's the brain feeds upon resolution, and it's like I need to have a definitive endpoint. It's like reading a book. You need it. You feel if you read a book and stop, you're going to feel worse than if you read it all the way through and finished it, because it's that not just because the fact obviously you know what fucking happens, but because it's closure. There's a definitive stop. We've wrapped this all up.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask as well. Like that would probably be quite a good point to end it.
Yeah.
Wrap this all up, and that's the end. But before we like get close to wrapping it up, you're talking about goals. Do you have any specific goals like now in lockdown? Because I guess they're all kind of shorter term now, in terms of like what you're aiming for whilst everything kind of waits.
I've got a few things cooking around, which I can tell you after I start recording. But it's forever.
Wank.
Huh?
The world's longest wank.
I think I'd pass out.
Have you seen that? What, like one guy on the internet on Reddit and stuff, they were saying they did it like 50 times a day.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
God. What is he, a 14-year-old boy? Because that would make sense. I
don't know. That's fucking serious. Like I'm pretty sure it'd fall off after like 20.
Mate, you die from dehydration. That's what.
Imagine what a way to go. He died as he lived.
Have you? How much of Community have you watched?
Enough. I watched up to the season where Donald Glover left.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So, spoiler alert. That's how Pierce dies, because he fills up all the tanks and dehydrates himself and dies.
Wow.
What a way to go. Oh, mate. Fine. Yeah, I'll take that.
It's a shame about Community, though. It did kind of fall off a cliff a bit.
You do need to watch season 6. It is fucking mental. Because you think... Yeah, so season 5 is where Donald Glover leaves, and season 6 is the final season. It's batshit crazy, mate.
Yeah, is it good? Worth watching?
Overall, yes, but at the time you're like, what the fuck? Like some of it, you're like, how are you saying these things? Like because it's so recent. It's not like if you look at Little Britain, you're like, okay, I get it because it was at the time. They're saying this shit now. You're like, oh my god, how are you saying this?
Oh, insulting stuff.
It's like on the edge, and you're just like, oh, you're just like, this is almost uncomfortable. Like, as if you like that kind of thing or not. But I need to watch it because of closure, wrap it all up. But it is worth it. But at the time, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Wow. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I'll bear it in mind.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, one of the characters in it does the voiceover for the sergeant in Modern Warfare 2. I was like, I know this guy.
It was Victor Reznov in Call of Duty, I think it's 1942, or whichever one is the World War II one. Call of Duty 2, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, Victor Reznov in that is done by Gary Oldman.
No.
Yeah, there's a Graham Norton interview of him doing the voice, and he was saying, yeah, well, it's just a lot of shouting. Stop on the ridge!
Wow, that's very good.
Yeah.
It blows your mind to think that Hans Zimmer did the fucking soundtrack for all those games.
Mental.
I know. Mental. So that character. Speaking of characters, my friend, it has been a true pleasure. Thank you ever so much. I appreciated the jingle to begin with. Would you do us the honor of ending with one?
Absolutely. Let me just... Sorry, it's going to have to be the same drum beat because I don't have another one loaded.
That's fine.
Hopping on an
still going.
No, Reading, bitch.
My man.